Look up at the sky right now. What color is it? Blue. Obviously, the most ordinary answer in the world. Now here is something that should be impossible. The greatest poet of the ancient world looked up at that exact same sky and never once called it blue. Not because he couldn't find the word, because as far as we can tell, the word didn't exist, and neither did the color, not in his mind. When Homer described the sea, the endless Mediterranean, he didn't call it blue either. He called it wine dark, the color of dark red wine. He called the sky bronze. He called honey green. And here's the part that breaks people. This wasn't one strange poet. Search the oldest writings of humanity, ancient Greek, ancient Chinese, Hebrew, the Icelandic sagas, the oldest Hindu texts, and you find the same impossible gap. Every color is there: black, white, red, yellow, green. But blue is almost completely missing. So how does an entire species, living under a blue sky, beside a blue sea, fail to see the most common color on Earth? The answer is far stranger than they were colorblind, because by the end of this, I am going to show you a color that is all around you right now, and that you today, with your modern eyes, still cannot see. Let's kill the easy answer first. Were ancient humans simply colorblind? Were their eyes broken? No. And we are certain of this: the human eye has not meaningfully changed in tens of thousands of years. The eye Homer used to look at that sea is, biologically, the exact same eye you are using to watch this right now. Same cones, same retina, same wiring. If you could trade eyes with an ancient Greek, neither of you would notice a thing. So their eyes saw blue perfectly. The light hit them exactly the way it hits you, which makes the mystery worse, not better. Because if their eyes worked, why did they never once mention the color? This is the exact question that obsessed a man in the 1800s, and what he found cracked the whole thing open. His name was William Gladstone. Before he became one of Britain's most famous prime ministers, he was obsessed with Homer, and reading those ancient poems, he noticed something nobody had taken seriously. Homer's colors were wrong, so he counted them. Black appears almost 200 times. White, around 100. Red, often. But blue, 0. Not a single time in all of Homer. At first, everyone assumed it was just Homer's personal style, a quirk of one poet, until another scholar went looking through the other ancient cultures of the world, and the pattern held everywhere he looked, across civilizations that had never met, that spoke completely different languages, on different continents. Blue was always the last color to get a name. Always. Think about how bizarre that is. These cultures had zero contact with each other, and yet they all discovered colors in almost the same order. First black and white, then red, then yellow and green, and finally, last of all, thousands of years later, blue. So a missing word was starting to look like a missing color. But that raises a question that sounds completely insane. A missing word can't actually blind you to something sitting right in front of your face, can it? And this is where a small tribe in Namibia gives us a genuinely chilling answer. They are called the Himba, and their language, even today, has no separate word for blue. They group blue and green together as one single color. To them, the sky and a green leaf can be the same color. So researchers ran an experiment that I still struggle to wrap my head around. They showed the Himba a ring of squares on a screen. 11 of them were green. 1 was blue, obviously, glaringly blue, the kind of blue you would spot in half a second. And the Himba struggled. Many of them could not pick out the blue square at all. Some pointed to the wrong one. The blue that practically screams at you and me was nearly invisible to them, because they had no word to separate it from green. But then the researchers flipped the test. They showed a ring of green squares, with one green that was a very slightly different shade. To you and me, they look identical, a wall of the exact same green. The Himba spotted the odd one out instantly, effortlessly, because their language has many separate words for shades of green that we never bothered to name. Sit with what that means. The words you have don't just describe what you see, they quietly decide what you are even able to notice. And before you tell yourself this is some faraway tribe with nothing to do with you, it isn't. In Japanese, the word AO still covers both blue and green. A green traffic light is officially called blue. Vietnamese uses one single word for the color of the sky and the color of leaves. These are huge modern societies, and the line between blue and green is still blurry inside their language right now. The thing that happened to Homer never fully ended. It is still happening in millions of minds today. If you have never thought about your own mind this way, That the language inside your head is editing reality before you ever get to see it? Subscribe, because that is what this entire channel is about. The invisible things silently shaping how you experience the world. The stuff nobody ever taught you to question. The next video goes somewhere that will genuinely unsettle you. But stay right here, because we still have the single biggest question left to answer. Because by now you should be asking, why blue? Of all the colors in existence, why is it always the very last one that humanity names? And the answer is beautiful once you finally see it. Look around you at the natural world. How much blue can you actually touch? Almost none. There are no truly blue animals you would meet in the wild. The few that look blue, like certain birds, are not even really blue. They are tricks of light bouncing off their feathers. There is no blue food. There are no blue plants to crush into dye. The sky is blue, but you cannot hold the sky. The sea looks blue, but scoop it into your hands, and it runs clear through your fingers. Blue is everywhere, and nowhere at once. It is the one color you almost never meet as a thing, only as a distance. Red came from blood and fire, and ripe fruit. Green came from leaves you could hold. Yellow came from the sun and the dirt. Every early color was something humans could grab, eat, bleed, or burn. Blue was the only one that floated permanently out of reach. And here is the proof. There was one ancient civilization that did have a word for blue. Very early on, the Egyptians. And they are the exact same civilization that figured out how to manufacture blue. They invented the first synthetic blue pigment in all of history. They learned to make it with their own hands, and the moment they could make it, they named it. That is the secret hiding under all of this. Humans don't name a color simply because they can see it. They name it when they can use it, when it stops being a glow in the distance and becomes a thing they can hold. So let's go all the way back to the beginning, to Homer, standing on the shore, staring out at his wine-dark sea. He was not blind. His eyes were perfect. He saw every wave, every shimmer, every ripple of light dancing on that water. He probably saw that sea more completely than most of us ever will, with our faces buried in our screens. He simply hadn't carved the word blue out of it yet. And without the word, the color stayed dissolved into everything else. Fully present, but unnamed. Like a thought you can feel, but can't quite put into words. And that should make you wonder about yourself. Because right now, all around you, there are colors with no name in your language. Shades living in the cracks between the words you know that other cultures see as sharply and clearly as you see red. They are landing on your eyes this very second. And because you have no word for them, you slide straight past them in the exact same way Homer slid past blue. The ancient humans were not primitive. They were not broken. They were a mirror. And they reveal a law that still secretly rules every single mind alive today. You can only truly see what you are able to name. So here is what I want us to fight about, down in the comments. Do you believe the words you know actually change what you are able to see? Or do you think you see the world exactly as it truly is, and language just slaps labels on it afterward? Because scientists still argue about this, fiercely, to this day. And I genuinely want to know which side you land on. Tell me below. And then take one more look up at that sky. It only looks blue to you because you were handed the word for it. Homer never got that gift. What else are we still missing?